One of the very important that we have to understand is that our scholars have put rules and regulation for migration. And the best one that you can have is the book of Ayatollah Sistani, hafadhahullah, which is known as, for Arabic, Al-Fiqh lil-Mughtaribin, which is jurisprudence for immigrants. This book, I think every immigrant in America or anywhere should put their hand on it. Because not only he tells you certain rules for those of us who are immigrant, it also has certain rules Islamically. Now, one of them is, if you are to migrate somewhere and you started to lose your deen or your children, then it's haram for you to stay there. You have to leave. You cannot stay somewhere where your deen is going to be at risk. That is something to keep in mind, brothers and sisters. And I'm saying this between the parentheses. What is happening in the world today is something to think about. With our public schools and the laws that is coming in hand now is something to think about. That is number one. Number two, one of the things that we also have to keep in mind is that as we migrate, one of the advices of Sayyid Sistani in that book is to make sure that you are connected to a center. What does it mean? I give you brother's example. You know, mashallah, we all have cell phones. And these cell phones, sometimes the battery dies. What do? You charge it. Don't you? Good. Now, you as a Muslims, as you live in the country, sometimes your deen becomes what? Low battery. How do you charge your aqidah, your deen? When you attach yourself to the center. When you go to these programs, it's a place to charge your aqidah and your iman. And if you don't have that, you're putting your aqidah at risk. And that is something very important. That's number two. Number three, the last one, to also make sure that as you are immigrant, make sure that you have what I call a spiritual doctor. In America, we all have medical doctor, don't we? If your head hurts, oh, let me call my doctor, I need an appointment. All right, that's my tummy, let me call my doctor, I need to see him. I have this, right? The only thing we don't have, we have an eye doctor, we have a medical, we have all these doctors. But the only doctor we are missing is the spiritual doctor. How many of us ever say, I feel low in my deen. Let me call my spiritual doctor to get boost in my aqidah. How many? Now, as you are in the immigration, or you are an immigrant, you should or must have a spiritual doctor. Somebody you can refer to. You know, somebody who can look at you and say you need this and guide you and lead you to make sure that your aqidah is at safe. Because at the end of the day, brothers and sisters, we don't have anything but this religion. The most what we have in this life is our aqidah and deen. And nothing should be sold for this religion. And I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the tawfiq to observe this religion and this aqidah, inshaAllah. Bin Nabi wa Ali Muhammad, sallu ala Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad.